truly scandalous incidents that have taken place in Rotherham and Rochdale are not happening here in Thurrock in any shape.
I wholeheartedly agree with Councillor Ray's choice of words. Truly scandalous, I think, is a very apt phrase to describe what's happened. I don't think it would be possible for the leader of any council anywhere in this country to give an absolute guarantee in this area. I think it would be amazingly arrogant and show quite breathtaking complacency. However, I can tell members what we are doing and what they can do. I have to say, Mr Mayor, that I think back to when I first became leader of this council back in 2010, at a time when there was an awful lot going on. We had severe financial difficulties, we had little in reserve, planning committee was making some odd decisions, there was a huge churn of most senior officers, including 5 directors of children's services in 4 years, and we'd had an improvement board imposed upon us. But Mr Mayor, the one thing that gave me sleepless nights was our proximity to the baby P scandal that had happened so recently. And that kind of horrible, nagging fear, that question, could something like that happen here? And even before I became leader of this council, I regularly met with the Director of Children's Services to seek assurances that Thurrock was doing everything that it could to protect our children. I continue to do that, and I hope that each and every member here tonight also does that. I think it is really important that we, each of us, recognise our individual responsibility to learn from others' mistakes and to keep an overview on what we're doing to ensure our children are safe. Those of us who have children of our own know this to be true. It's something that we do naturally, and we should do it in our corporate parenting role too. The safety of every child in Thurrock should be something that each of us consider. Not just our own children, not just those in care, but every child in the borough. Mr Mayor, the J report from Rotherham, which I have read, and I would urge every member to read, is one of many such reports from across the country that have over time looked into the failings that have allowed wide-scale child sexual exploitation. There have been similar outrages in Rochdale, Derby and Oxfordshire, which goes to show that these things can happen anywhere. In every case, something new is identified as the central issue or the central cause. And I can say with confidence that Thurrock Council and our partners take the issue of child abuse in all its horrific forms very seriously indeed. So if you do read the J report and its recommendations, you will see that those recommendations that aren't Rotherham specific are in the main things that Thurrock is already doing. One of the issues with child protection, identified yet again in the J report, is that it is a subject that crosses so many boundaries within the council and with other public agencies. Local authorities and our partners have a responsibility to make sure that those boundaries do not become barriers, and we must work hard to ensure that that is the case here in Thurrock. For example, we have rolled out awareness courses to staff in all the different agencies that make up the local Safeguarding Children's Board, making sure they are trained to recognise the signs and that they know what to do when they see the signs. We have also developed close links internally with our licensing team so they too are trained to see the danger signs, especially in the cases of taxis and budget hotels. This has already led to one taxi driver having their licence revoked. Mr Mayor, following the publication of the J report, we and our partners are going back over previous cases where sexual exploitation was raised as a possible issue and checking again. And that isn't just recent cases, that's historic cases too. And we have developed a flexible response approach to respond to and learn from our own cases and the experiences of others. We've already heard from Councillor Opinade this evening about the MASH that we've recently launched, that is the Multi-Agency Safeguarding Hub. There is now, in this building, a specially designed room where representatives from all different agencies sit and work together. It's a room where reports of possible child abuse in Thurrock arrive, and it's a room where discussion between partners is encouraged. And Among the organisations represented in the hub are Thurrock Council's Children's Social Care, Adult Social Care, Youth Offending Service and the Housing Department, Early Help Services, plus health agencies, Essex Police, the Probation Service, Mental Health Services, Domestic Violence Prevention Providers and Substance Misuse Services. All of them working together in the same place to ensure a comprehensive and joined-up approach to child protection. Mr Mayor, as I said earlier, there should be no barriers to providing quick, efficient, effective and appropriate responses. So in order to make sure that we fully consider and respond appropriately to the concerns raised by the Rotherham scandal, a full report will be presented to next month's Children's Overview and Scrutiny Committee, detailing the findings from the J report and detailing Thurrock's response. Mr Mayor, when it comes to tackling the abuse of children, we cannot afford to let our focus slip for one moment. And that means that we should remember that around 90% of child abuse actually happens in the home. And we should remember that neglect and other forms of physical violence are also abhorrent. Indeed, the theme of next month's local Safeguarding Children's Board conference is neglect. And I would urge every member to come along, learn what's happening, learn what we're doing, and learn what it is that we still have to do.